That was the GOAT as we call him, Gerald Albright with G Wiggle. Cool little story about that song. I think I remember the live feed of the video. He was watching his grandson, Selena's son, and he was feeding him a little snack with, some Cheerios and some blueberries. And I guess little man liked the Cheerios and blueberries, so he would sit there and he would do his little wiggle while he was eating. And so I think that's what inspired that song, G Wiggle. Big shout out to Gerald Albright. Good stuff right there. It's your friend Tony Exum Jr. I'm sitting here with one of the Denver legends. He plays flute. He films stuff. All around good guy. Say what's up to Vince Powell.
Yo, yo.
Sitting right here in the studio. I've known this man for a long time. Bro, how you been?
I've been great, man.
Good, good. So what have you been up to?
Well, my television shows and such and everything else.
Right.
Working with you cats, and then as far as time-wise with us, go back, it's over 25 years now.
That's right.
Believe it or not.
That's right. He knew me when I was young. Young.
Matter of fact, they thought you wasn't old enough to come up in the joint and drink. Say, what that baby doing up there on that stage?
Yeah, I was baby face back then. I was in my 20s, but I looked a lot younger. And so, you know what he's talking about, right? My Denver folks, do y'all remember Club Spice?
Infamous.
The infamous Club Spice in Montbello. I used to play there in my early days with a band called The New G, Steve Carson and The New G. Matter of fact, one of the ladies that used to sing with us is on the Facebook. Big shout out to Jay.
Oh. Hey, Jay.
Yeah. Yeah. Her and I think Carly was singing background for a little while with the New G. That's my buddy right there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jay. Yes, indeed. So, you've been doing the television stuff. You've been keeping all of us abreast with all the media stuff that you've been doing. And not only that, but just supporting live music and supporting the Denver music scene in general. And we definitely appreciate what you've been doing. So me and this brother we've seen a lot over the years. And it's kind of full circle to be here with you on the radio.
Yeah, man.
And
we're doing the dual thing. We got radio and TV going on.
TV going on. Let me look at the camera real quick.
Give us the
peace sign.
Some love.
I'm working. You know what I'm saying?
We doing the thing.
So we in the studio having a good time. We're going to be talking to him throughout the night and doing some other good stuff. But yes, let's get back to the music. This is one of my favorite saxophone players of all time. And this is a song you've heard me play. If you've heard me play live, you've heard me play this song I don't know how many times. I've probably played this song throughout my career at least anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 times, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. I lost count like 15 years ago. But it's one of those great songs. And so I'm going to kick back and not think about me playing it. I'm going to let you hear somebody else play it. This is that Maxwell classic. But this time, it's Kirk Whalum. Here's Ascension, y'all. You know what I'm talking about. KUVO Jazz 89.3, the Oasis in the City, right here in beautiful downtown Denver, Colorado.
Let's talk Denver. Denver, Colorado.
Yes.
I'm here at KUVO 89.3, the Oasis in the City.
Yes.
I'm interviewing today a good old friend of mine, classic friend of mine, because we got to have some class.
Right, that's right.
What we do.
That's right.
And it makes me feel so good, and I'm so proud of this young man and all the years of our acquaintance and things that have been going on.
Yes.
And so to see you elevate to this point, Tony.
Man, this is great.
It really makes me feel so good.
Thank
inside.
you, brother.
The grace of the great creator.
Absolutely. It's I think about those days, when we met back at the Gold Club Spice, Denver. Remember that? Club Spice, Montbello, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I used to play there a lot when I was in my early 20s with a band called The New G. Sometimes I show up on a Saturday and sit in with Jakarta back in those days. So it's been a journey, and this is full circle for us, so this is incredible. And now I'm in the second part of my career, which is radio. New here at KUVO, but I've been at Jazz 93.5 for the last 8 years down in Colorado Springs, so I've been doing radio and touring and recording and performing live.
Yeah, so when you said that, and talking about especially all you spicers out there that remember everything from back in the day, the things that I did for the radio station as well, I had a cliche.
Yeah.
The right spice for nightlife
Yep, I remember
It's
that.
here at Club Spice. You remember,
I remember that. Man, I'm still smelling the. I think about Club Spice. You know, like a lot of our clubs, you walk in, you got that combination of cigarette smoke, because you could smoke back then. That's how
Yeah.
far ago that was. You know, fried chicken and catfish and Hennessy.
Yeah.
You know, but but it felt like home. It felt like you was walking into, you know, one of your elders' cribs and it was a party going on. You
And
know,
it was really group. It was a big group, and you
Yeah.
know, it was one of the biggest attractions during that time.
yes,
And it was so great to be able to bring in all the local talent that we had. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's really crazy. I can tell everybody this real fast. I don't know if I've ever shared that with you. When I got with them at first, you know, they only had maybe 8 days a month
wow,
in Rev, right?
Man.
And so when I met Denty, I told him all these things and said, you know what, we can need to bring this up. Lodo was just coming up. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so the thing of it is that I knew that this down here was going to really blow up
right,
because they eventually got to where it was something going on 7 days a week.
yes,
And so I told Denty, I said, if we're going to be in competition with downtown, we need to do the same thing. So slowly but surely, I built that up to where I brought all the Comic View comics that I'd worked with out on the West Coast, which was Wednesday night. Thursday night was already jamming and slamming because that was DJ Jiggy's night.
yeah, I
on the
remember
hip-hop-
that hip hop stuff.
hip-hop
Yeah,
stuff. And then Friday night was old school.
it was old school. Yep,
When I brought you guys up, and then Saturday was my show, right? Sunday was karaoke.
yes,
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we got those first 4, 5 nights up, and so eventually Sunday afterwards they would do certain things, but it was Monday and Tuesday we had to fill in.
Yeah.
And Monday became, of course, football night and everything, and then we
Yeah.
had games.
yep,
But so the thing is that I told everyone we got great talent, excellent talent
yes,
in this state
yes. And he
that
set
needed
that
to
up.
be supported.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I said, you know, me growing up here, being one of the youngest cats to play with the old heavies back in
Right.
the day. And so you know, the thing of it is that jazz is the true American music.
Yes,
The Europeans brought all their music with them, but jazz was developed here. And so
Yeah.
that's why I'm so proud of you, man,
thank you, man. Thank you.
supporting that jazz.
Yes.
Where we at? We at KUVO.
We're at KUVO. This is the oasis right here. This is the oasis right here. So you know what? This is the epicenter. This is where on the musical side it goes down. So we need you to support what we're doing because we got to keep jazz on the radio. And there's a lot of donors out there, and you know a lot of members that have kept this thing going for 40 plus years.
40 years.
And a lot of jazz stations don't last that long. So, you know, this is incredible. And I'm proud to be a part of this. I've been listening to this station since I was in college. You know, a lot of you don't know this, or maybe you do. I went to University of Denver, Lamont School of Music. I studied there with the great Art Boughton and Lynn Baker and Dave Hansen and God rest his soul, Ken Walker. A lot of great musicians there. And that's where I kind of really honed my chops to be where I'm at now. I was doing some recording back then too, you know, and just making my way, trying to be as professional as I could, hanging out with some of the older jazz cats. I got to give a big shout out to Rudy Royston
Oh yeah.
and Shami Fuller that let me hang with them, James Barella,
Right.
Pete Peterson, who's out there killing it in Oregon now. They were the Peterson Barella 5. It was Artie Moore on the bass back in those days. And they would let me hang out with them, and I would go to like Round Midnight in Boulder.
Right.
And I'd go to the Peck, but I wasn't old enough to get in, so I had to stand outside and listen, because you know they had that little stage door. So I would stand on the side and just listen or stand by the front door. And you know, as long as it wasn't too cold outside, depending on what time of year it was, I would just hang out.
Right.
But I would meet people and meet different musicians if they were jamming, you know.
Right.
One night I was out there, it was like a sax player named Marv Smith from the Springs.
Right.
Keith Oxman, who was a substitute music teacher, and he and I became friends. Who else? Bob Rebholz came one night.
Oh yeah.
So I was a kid meeting all these. I'm looking at these guys like they're superstars. You know, I'm from the Springs. I'm humble beginnings. I'm like all these jazz greats from right here in Colorado, and I saw a lot of good music. So it inspired me over the years. And so even though I leaned more towards the smooth jazz stuff, got a lot of encouragement, a lot of training from the straight ahead community that was into the students. So when I think about that, being around this area, and then I'm here at KUVO, the very station I used to listen to KUVO and K-High, you know, and then KDKO was still around for a little bit too. So between those 3 stations, and I would have a good time doing it.
Well, you know, when you brought up the pack, I literally grew up in the pack.
Oh yeah.
Daddy with all the heavies and everything else.
Yeah.
Me and Freddie. Right? Junior.
Oh yeah, Freddie Rodriguez. Yeah, that's my guy. I love Freddie.
He's a little younger than me, but the fact doesn't matter.
Good player.
They all played together, my father and his father.
Yeah.
And all them heavy cats back in the day, you know. Yep. And, you know, like Billy Toll.
Oh, I remember Billy Tolls.
Right.
I remember Billy Tolls.
And there's a bunch of other cats. Ellaby, Julius Ellaby.
Yes.
Who played with JB in them and all that kind of stuff. It was the whole thing about when we moved here, you know, that this city was on fire, late 50s, early 60s, and jazz was the biggest thing, especially growing up down here in the Points.
Yeah.
You know, and so the thing is that this is your story, not mine. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing that the creators brought us together to tell our stories.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and it's crazy because the Peck is like internationally known. And a lot of people that aren't from Denver always ask me, what happened to the Peck? You know, and it's sad that it's not there anymore, but you know, the memories will never fade. And as long as we keep talking about it, we can keep that memory and that legacy of the Peck alive, because so much greatness walked through those doors. And I had a chance to play a couple times there too. Finally, after years of playing Sunday nights at Jazz and Jacks, I would leave there and go to Peck and sit in with whoever was, you know, hanging out there. So, you know, Tony Blackby on drums and maybe Rob McDaniel on keys, you know, just different cats, you know. So I had a good time doing all of that back then. And here's the thing, you had to be ready.
Oh yeah.
You had to be ready.
Yeah. Because it'd set you on fire.
Yeah, but you learned though. If you weren't,
real quick,
you learned. And that's what it's all about. That's right, Jay, history. I gotta move my phone over here real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of history in that building, and a lot of history just in Denver, period. I don't think people realize how much Colorado, the music tradition, there's so much that's come out of here. You know, so when you think about national stuff, you got Diane Reeves.
Yeah.
You know, you got Paul Taylor. You know, you got, of course, our living, he's a jazz legend. He's not a local legend. I would never call him that. Nelson Rangel, who as we speak right now is over at Dazzle killing it, I know.
Right.
Because he's just that guy. Big shout out to Nelson. You know, and of course the three from Earth, Wind & Fire, Philip Bailey, Andrew Woolfolk, God rest his soul, Larry Dunn, coming out of East High School, Pam Grier coming out of East High School, Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just incredible talent. And so when I'm speaking just for Denver right now, there's a lot of things that Colorado has offered the world, you know. And I just hope that I can be one of those people that can tell that story too. You know,
And he is.
Being from Colorado Springs, you know, we got our own tradition. You know, the two cities have always, you know, exchanged and interchanged, you know, with talent and opportunities and things like that. When the guys from Earth, Wind & Fire were in a group called Friends in Love, pre-Earth, Wind & Fire, because they know there was another version, the original version of Earth, Wind & Fire from Chicago, and then the version we know are the three cats from Denver. But then before that, they were in a band called Friends in Love. They used to come to the Springs, and they used to play Palmer High School. Right. And my mother saw them because she was a Palmer at the time. I saw them my dad, and so
that's before they came Salty Peppers.
Right. Well, no. This is the before they joined Earth, Wind & Fire.
Before they joined.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. So what's crazy is my dad, he was good friends with another Denver legend. Denver legend's mother, Cheryl Renee. Her mom was Katie Love.
Yeah, Katie.
My dad used to hang out with her. She used to do some records back then, you know. And my uncle, my mom's brother, his name was Larry Francis Jr. He taught me how to play sax. He gave me my first saxophone when I was going into the 6th grade, and that's why I'm here now. So it started at home, listening to him because he was a Fort Carson Army musician.
Right.
and he was the man. So
was it alto?
alto, yep.
It was alto.
Started out
first.
with alto first, and then I didn't add tenor and soprano until I was a senior in high school.
Oh, okay.
So excuse me. So it was that journey. You know, then I came to DU, my school of music. That's when I started playing all of them. But somehow the soprano saxophone really started to take shape when I was like 18 or 19 years old. Because when I was, you know, that's when Kenny G was like real popular. So when I was in high school, I used to play to the ladies or whoever would listen in the courtyard. I'd be up there. I didn't care. I'd be in the courtyard at Mitchell High School playing, and they would come out and listen. And my principal, big shout out to Miss Delia Busby, she didn't mind, and so she's still a fan to this day. It's so cool to see my high school principal out there at my shows because she remembers when I first started.
Love, isn't that?
It is.
It's
amazing.
Love.
It's amazing.
Keep that support all these years.
Yeah, when I think about it, it just makes me smile.
Yeah, you know that's the beauty of a lot of things that we have here.
Yeah,
and you know to be able to see those elders that still support us. I still have a couple of them around.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's a beautiful thing. And like you said, there is so much wonderful talent that has come through here. I'm gonna ask you this question: did you know that Quincy's journey to the West Coast, where he made his real first big snap, was right here?
No, I didn't know that.
In the 5 Points.
I did not know
that.
Down
there at the casino.
Wow. My goodness.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying.
A lot of people
Denver's
don't know that. Yeah, a lot of
rich
people don't know
history.
that. Yeah. And then the Rossonia, all those different things, you know, the whole thing of it is because we are known as Harlem of
the West. Remember that.
Yes.
Harlem of the West.
Harlem of the West. And so, and then you also got to remember, it was that time when musicians were only allowed to actually perform in certain places.
Right.
And so it is known by us, especially a lot of folks that do know this. The 5 Points is known as Uptown.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay? Uptown, because the simple fact of the matter, during those times, you know, the racial discrimination.
Yeah, all that craziness from back in the day.
Even the superstars couldn't play in downtown Denver.
Right.
You know, they had to have their outlets. But you know, the beauty of it is that how it's accepted by everyone and everyone around the world now. And that's one good thing about being on KUVO, man. You know what? You are around the world.
That's right.
In KUVO.
We're going to go live again. All right, y'all. Yes, indeed, though. Oasis in the City, KUVO Jazz 89.3. We're in the second hour of The Groove. If you're just now tuning in, it's your friend Tony Exum Jr. live here in the studio downtown Denver. It's 9:04. And guess what? I was talking mess earlier, but man, maybe the Knicks might do this because now they're down by 4. And hold on, let me see for sure. I'm just going to keep it right here. Yep, 79-83. Now, they were down by 14. Now they're catching up. I think that's super dope. But anyway, it's 9:04 downtown Denver. Beautiful day outside, beautiful evening. And I'm in the studio with my man Vince Powell. And we're just having a good time. We're filming some other stuff and getting some content going. But I wanted to set this up for you. So I always take it back every Saturday night. You hear all the new stuff or the stuff that's current, but you got to understand where this music comes from. So this is the throwback segment. The before it was called something else segment. I won't say that word, but it's still going to be fun, and you're going to love these next few artists I'm going to play. So we're going to kick it off with a classic from the 1981 album from Mr. David Sanborn called Voyeur. Now, I grew up listening to this record a lot. My mother used to play this when I was a little kid in Germany. We just got to Germany. We might not have been there a year yet. This album came out in the summer of 1981. Living in a place called Vogaway. Okay, it was right outside of K-Town, and this was my mom's, Saturday morning cleanup music, or just when she was in a good mood. And I have good memories of this. I think this is why I became a saxophone player, because music like this is in my DNA. So, I'll take you back to a good time of music, and let you enjoy it. So here's my throwback segment right here on The Groove. I'm your friend Tony Exum Jr. You're listening to the Oasis in the City, KUVO Jazz 89.3.
You know, there's so many musicians here in Denver that we've lost here recently.
I know.
As well.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing of it, Tony, is that sometimes we know we're not appreciated as much as we should be.
Mm-hmm. You know
But
what?
we're gonna keep on keeping on.
Let me turn around on that one. Give musicians their flowers now. Don't wait. I mean, in any small way that you possibly can, we appreciate it so much. You know, it's important to know that they understand. You know, we lost Frankie Beverly, but you know what? That man transitioned knowing that we loved him.
Yes.
And we loved him dearly. So, you know what? There was no question. He wasn't alone. He wasn't isolated. He knew the world loved him before he had to let go. So that's why I tell people, we give our artists their flowers like we did Frankie. Because everywhere we went, we let him know we loved him. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's how we got to do.
You know, when you said that, that's what caught my attention was when you talked about Sheldon.
Yeah.
You know, when I first met Sheldon, when he came here from back east, and he had a little Casio piano, a little bitty,
Right. Oh, yeah.
and was trying to really get things really going. You know, on the cover band show, that's the show this is as well. This is Let's
Right.
Talk Denver.
Yep.
But cover band, believe it or not, he still has the biggest numbers on cover band.
Yeah.
Still today, they're still tuning in to see Sheldon.
Sheldon was a complete entertainer, musical encyclopedia, and he could always put on a show. Sheldon, I mean, he could be playing on a broken keyboard. And those of you from Denver are probably gonna bust up laughing when I tell this story. But we was at the Palm Tree one night, and it was just me, him, and Sherman Arnold. And it was this old keyboard that
Was it the one that teetered like that?
yeah, the one that Ken and Sam had back there that cursed by broken Korg or whatever it was. But you know what? We put on a show.
I know
Just
you
the three
did.
of us. That's back in, I was right before I joined Soul School officially. I was playing at the Palm Tree with them on Fridays. And every now and then, you know, my man Willis Rich would show up. Other singers would show up and just sit in. But a lot of times it was just the three of us. And sometimes Scotty was there too. So there was a drummer from New Orleans. His name was Brian Rashawn that was here. Big shout out to Brian because it was because of Brian that I got a gig with the Temptations and Four Tops at the Fillmore back in '05
Right.
because he recommended me to Jerry Barnett.
Is that right?
Yeah, because they needed somebody. He said, you should try this kid in Colorado Springs. And at first they were like, does he double on flute? And at the time I didn't, so they kind of passed on me. And I called back. I said, okay, well, what can I do? And that made an impression on Jerry. He's like,
Right.
you know what, hire him. So I got the gig, and now that was like my 30th birthday present. I just turned 30 like a few days before that. And I got a chance to play with both of them. I met Duke when he was walking in, and I met Otis later. And that was one of the most brightest moments in my career. I mean, it wasn't a public gig. It was a bunch of businesses that brought them. But I can say I played for both. That was incredible. I was the only chocolate chip up there, but you know what? They was looking at me like, who's this baby face? You're in the military?
Well, wait though. See, as soon as you said that, it made me think of this. That day, right? That very
Right.
first day when Dinty came in and saw you up there
Yeah.
and everything. And
That's how they
went
looked at me.
And he looked at you. He didn't say anything. He
Right.
just looked at you.
Right.
And he went into the office, and then he came back out and said to me, he says, "Who that kid?" And I told him, DJ, sit down and listen to my man. Listen to him play, man. He sat down, Tony, and sat there and looked, and as soon as you guys broke, he looked and came over the booth. Remember how the booth was?
Yeah.
He looked over the booth and said, "Did you hire that boy yet?" he said, "Put him on contract." He sure did.
Wow, man.
He
See,
sure did. Yes, he did.
that's stories right there.
Denny Jones.
Sammy, what's up, man? What's up, Aaron?
And then the Jones brothers, just like what Tony just said, the Jones brothers had, the other club was the Palm Tree.
Yep. That's where
So,
we used
you
to
know,
be.
and the great thing about being in Denver, we don't have that anymore.
Right.
We were saturated with at least 5 to 6 joints
I mean, you could have fun
of
on
people of color.
Yeah, for us on a Friday, Saturday night, you could just make your rounds. You could say, okay, I could start in Denver and make my way over to Aurora.
Aurora.
And hit 3 spots there. I mean, you could start with a lot of people used to do this. They used to start with the Palm Tree.
Right.
And then they would go to Patrick's.
Patrick's.
And you didn't have to come into Denver side. And if you did come to Denver side, Jazz and Jacks, you know, what was the other spot? The Ready Room.
Yeah.
You know, places like that where there was always live music. Somebody was playing somewhere. So, you know, then sometimes we'd be in the other suburbs. I'd be with Soul School, and I'd leave the Palm Tree and rush my way up to a spot called the Brick House in Arvada.
Oh yeah, up in Arvada.
From Arvada, yeah, to play with Soul School that night.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So I mean, those are some fun times. And then, you know, I'd drive back home to the Springs and come right back up and play another Saturday night. You know, it used to be, that was my life in my late 20s, early 30s. And then one day I said, you know what? I don't want to play this music anymore. I didn't get into this to be a band member. Nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to be Tony Exum Jr.
Yeah.
So I took a leap of faith. And November 14th, 2008, my first solo show at Jazz and Jacks. And I packed the house.
That's when it was Jazz and Jacks.
It was Jazz and Jacks before it was Live and Jacks.
Live and Jacks, yeah.
And that's when my journey started. That's when I said, okay, I can do this. So it was so funny. That was a Friday night. After we got done with that, me and a guitar player named Drew Buckner went over to the church to do a corporate show with Soul School. And I was all excited about my show. And by Monday, I was officially let go from Soul School.
Oh, wow. Is that when that happened?
Yeah, but here's how it happened, though. It was understood that I was going to move on. Finding somebody to replace me took a while.
Yeah, yeah.
So I stayed with Soul School for about another year.
Yeah.
And my good friend Ray took my place, but I had to get him up to speed. So I actually had to stay.
Raymond?
Yeah. I had to stay.
No offense, Ray.
My man Ray Gordon, that's my
Ray
guy.
Gordon, yeah.
Ramon, you know what I'm saying? That's my dude. But yeah, I had to get him up to speed, and then finally made my way, and I started working on my my first album right about that same time. So late 2009, my drummer at the time, who's now with Gerald Albright, Mr. James Roberson, J-Rob.
Oh yeah.
Him and Kyle Smith produced my first record, and that's where I'm at today. So you know, I thank those brothers to this day. Me and J-Rob stay in touch, you know, and after I did that first album, finally, that was 2010 when I put it out. Right after that, I did an interview on a show called Talking Smooth Jazz.
Oh yeah, yeah.
On Blog Talk Radio. And I was on there with Jeff Lorber and Tom Schumann from Spiral Gyro.
Spiral Gyro, right.
Had a ton of listeners. And that was like my kind of breakout moment. And so the co-host of that show, a brother by the name of Michael Reynolds, who's from DC. The host was from Vegas, but from DC, but lived in Vegas. And he called me about a month later and said, hey man, I like what you're doing. Do you have a manager? And I said, no. I said, you know, I've been looking. I hadn't started touring yet. I was still playing, Jazz and Jacks. And then I just started playing the Casbah Happy Hour. You know, I was doing Stargazers in Colorado Springs and, you know, just kind of making my way into being a solo artist. And so he became my manager by that September. I walked away and was laid off from my then day job, a job I hated. And I remember driving home from that job and I said, that's it. I'm going for this full time.
Right.
I prayed hard about it. And that night, Michael called me and said, hey man, let's do this. And I haven't looked back since.
Been rolling.
So yeah, that was about 16 years ago.
You know what you said? You said two things. Drew Buckner.
Yeah.
I've been knowing Drew since he was a kid as well, right? And then you said the Ready Room. I ain't heard that doggone name.
Man.
Oh my God!
See, I know a little something about Denver, y'all.
Well, you know that joint it wasn't the biggest joint on earth.
Not at all. That stage was small.
And it was real small, but it supported live entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's what's really missing, Tony. You know that.
Yeah.
The thing of it is that here in this city, yes, and I'm talking about our music. When I say our music, I'm talking about jazz, smooth jazz, right? The real blues.
Yep.
Okay.
Our music. Yes,
and
indeed.
the thing of what built America as far as American music. And so, you're gonna keep hearing me say this, Denver and the rest of the world. I'm so proud of this young man.
I appreciate
You know,
it,
I
man.
mean, I really am. I mean,
I appreciate it.
I couldn't wait for this interview.
Oh, me either. We've been talking about this for a while, so and to
Yeah.
do it here at KUVO really makes a big difference.
I mean, even though we've done a couple of them,
Yeah, we have.
but this one is very important because of the simple fact this is the landmark.
Yeah. And you know, shout out to the originators of KUVO, Carlos, Arturo, all the old school hosts I grew up listening to, you know, the ones that have been here for a long time. It's good to be part of this family. Let me tell you my Toast Jackson story.
Yeah.
Me and Toast go back to 2008.
Okay.
A friend of mine that knew his little brother. His little brother plays drums in Nashville, plays for a lot of big names.
Come tell us, you told me this story. You tell me. Go on. Tell me.
So 2008, me and my dude, his name is Ahmed, we tried to do this event in the Springs called the Soul Lounge.
Okay.
We wanted to bring like a grown folk event, you know, once a month. He was working at SkySock Stadium, and the SkySock Stadium had a little fourth story building, and it was the players' wives' lounge.
Right.
So we rented it out, and he said, I'm gonna get my man Toast to come from the Bay Area to be our DJ. And Toast killed it. And that's how we met, and we've been cool ever since.
Right.
So what was crazy was Toast's story is so much bigger than what it is. He downplays it, but that dude was huge in the business.
Oh, yeah.
You know, from Sacramento and the Bay. So
Yeah, he gave me a little bit of his history.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I told him
Toast-
I need to interview him next.
yeah,
on
you gotta
the big
you
side.
gotta Toast Jackson. So when he
Yeah.
came to Denver, it was like, you know, and that's my big brother. He was key to let me know. I remember the day he said, "Hey man, you know, there's might be a little opening over at KUVO." I was like,
Ding! No, that's right.
me. So as long as y'all cool with me still being at Jazz 935, he's like, yeah, of course. And I was excited. I was smiling. I was like, wow, I get to be on the Denver station too. So it's very important that we keep this music going, and I'm part of this incredible family here. Really good tradition, 40 years in the making. And because of KUVO, Jazz 935 has been influenced by KUVO. And you know, we're starting to grow too. We were 8 years down there, and I'm one of the OGs there. I'm the only original host. All the other hosts that are there now were after me.
Yeah.
So I was there from the word go. I think 2 weeks after the station started when I did my very first radio show by myself. You know, so it's been a journey to start the new chapter, and I'm just loving doing radio. I want to keep this music on the air, and you know, and now I'm like the voice of contemporary jazz in Colorado, and I'm so happy. You know, that means a lot.
Man. Thank you kindly.
You know, we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going.
We're gonna keep it live, and it ain't no jive.
I know that's right. Yes. The Oasis in the City, KUVO Jazz 89.3. It's been The Groove with your friend Tony Exum Jr. We're halfway through the second hour, and I was talking my stuff, but guess what? The Knicks have come back. It's a wrap, y'all.
It's a wrap.
New York Knicks, yes indeed. Final score 94-90. It's 9:31 out here in the Mile High City, and I'm still here with my man Vince. And I like that throwback set we just had. That was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that was on.
Taking you back to, you know, a time of music where, you know, we had to really sit down and listen. And you know, we call it something else now. I'm not gonna say that word. However, we had Stanley Jordan doing Michael Jackson. That was a big hit back in 1985. We went all the way back to 1978 with Bob James featuring David Sanborn with Touchdown. And at the beginning of that throwback set, we had David Sanborn himself with the Let's Just Say Goodbye. And that was from 1981 as well. And then you just heard a gentleman that started out playing with Marcus Anderson, a lot of people on the East Coast, and now he's become his own artist, doing some big things. His name is Darnell. We call him Showcase Taylor. Incredible musician on guitar. And that was called Dance With Me. And man, I'm having a good time. I'm happy that the Knicks have won this game. Good stuff, y'all. Good game.
Wonderful.
Nail-biting game. I've been watching the whole time I've been on the air. That's a wonderful thing. So, you know, as we were doing this interview here, we're talking about Denver history and talking about, you know, the clubs I used to play and the clubs I used to be out here. So I'm going to take you guys back down memory lane, all right? And if you remember this and you're listening, send me a text message, 303-291-0666. You remember Club Spice? Yes, you do. You remember the Ready Room? Do you remember out there in Arvada? The spot used to be called the Brick House. Who can forget in Aurora, Patrick's? You know what I'm saying? And who can forget, of course, our beloved Shelton with the Casbah, and our beloved Sandra with the Live at Jack's, Jazz at Jack's.
Yes.
All these great venues that I spent my time becoming an artist and becoming trying to be the best musician I can be, but seeing a lot of great music too. I want to give a big shout out to Nelson Rangel, who right about now is letting them have it at Dazzle. Big shout out to Dazzle too. He has a show tonight, and so I know all the Nelson Rangel fans because he's one of our legends from Colorado, and it's always a treat to hear him play. He's one of the most cerebral players I know.
And I'm sitting here with one of the legends right now.
You know what? That's some big shoes to fill, but so I'm going to try to do it. But anyway, we out here, downtown Denver, beautiful, 933, and I got some good stuff for you. The gentleman who wrote this next song passed away just recently. His name is Dexter Wansel, and Dexter was very responsible for that Philadelphia soul sound, especially in the 70s, but he did some records on his own. And a record that he did that's still popular to this day, I'm going to play a new version of it. There was a group called the Jones Girls back in the late 70s, early 80s. Incredible vocalists. Definitely unsung. It's really sad what happened to that group because those girls could blow. But there was a really special song that tells a special story. And my good friend, two of my good friends in the business, did a remake of it. And I'm going to play that for you next. Here's my good friend from L.A., Castella, featuring the flautist herself. She's so incredible, Reagan Whiteside. And this is their version of the classic Nights Over Egypt, right here on the Oasis in the City, KUVO Jazz 89.3. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Did y'all hear that good stuff? Of course, Marion Meadows, that unmistakable soprano sax sound. That was a tune called Just Doing Me. Right before that, we had Nights Over Egypt. Yes, indeed, Castella featuring Reagan Whiteside. Good stuff right here on your Oasis in the City. I got some really good songs coming up next that's going to feature a great saxophone player. The first one is him giving a tip of the hat and paying respect to the dearly departed. We heard him in the beginning of the show, Wayman Tisdale. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He's one of the most soulful cats I've ever heard. I want you guys to check him out. Most of y'all who've been listening to contemporary jazz for a while know this gentleman's sound. He goes by the name of Steve Cole. Yes. Vince, you know Steve Cole,
Yeah,
right?
man.
And then you heard Adam Holly earlier. After that, we're going to get into Cat Holly, his wife.
His wife.
Beautiful voice, featuring Steve Cole on this tune. And this was the first hit that she put out just a few years ago. Then we're going to get into some more good stuff before my time runs out, man. I've been having so much fun live down here at KUVO. And big shout out once again, New York Knicks. I'm sorry, Spurs fans. But I'm just glad the Knicks doing their thing. So anyway, let's keep listening, y'all. This is the Oasis in the City, KUVO Jazz 89.3.
You know, the thing that I really enjoy is that even though straight ahead music is melodic in its own form, there's something about the smooth jazz world that literally, because we're woodwinds, so we know that the horns were designed to mimic the human voice.
Right.
And so to be able to hear that and to hear the saxophones and the flute and all these other woodwinds sing. And a lot of people don't get to know that. They don't know that part of it that we know.
Yeah. You know, when they say that the saxophone is the closest instrument to the human voice, and then you also have, you know, probably the closest out of all of the saxophones will be the tenor sax.
The tenor, yeah.
And that's why sometimes the tenor sax reaches or resonates with people a little bit different than alto or soprano.
Right.
But you know, what you can do with the saxophone, you know, especially if you really get deep into it, you can make that thing speak.
Baritone a little bit of love too.
Oh, I love the Barry.
Yeah.
I don't own one right now.
That was my first saxophone.
Yeah, I don't own one right now, but I plan on it.
Yeah.
I plan on it at some point.
But a lot of people don't understand that, and I mean, even on the symphonic side of it, the horns were meant to do exactly that, and then also a lot of the other instruments would mimic things in the natural world.
Yeah.
You know, animals and birds and such and such. The only other thing that would mimic the human voice were the strings.
Yeah.
Right. And so the thing of it is that music is not only worldwide, it's the universal language.
Yeah, that's it. The universal language. That means a lot. And that's
Yeah.
you know, that and on top of that, I mean that's why God created it. He must have known,
He knew.
you know.
God knows.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at it through history, a lot
Yep.
of people don't look at it through history that music, what I said earlier, music, food, and drink have brought people together. It's on the social platform.
Yep.
The easiest thing, and guess what? Even during wartime, even during these times that we're going through right now today,
Yep.
that the comfort
Uh-huh.
of having it no matter what, the turmoil of the world, there's wars going on, but guess what? Everybody will take a break and listen to some good music.
Yeah.
Sit down and have a good meal.
It just, you know, it doesn't, I mean, all walks of life, it never fails. It never fails. I've seen it in my own experiences. I've been part of that. I remember one time I was at Leather Pavilion, and it was Tower Power and Average White Band.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. And what I loved was watching just everybody dance. You know, it was like, it
yeah.
didn't matter what
All
color.
on the grass, huh?
All
Yeah.
on the grass. It was just, everybody was all, we were all just having fun. And you look at some people, it's like, man, sometimes these are people that would probably walk past me and not even speak. But we out there partying because that music was so good. And, you know, just watching people dance and just have a good time, it just does something for your soul. You know, especially when the music's there, the weather was perfect. You know, everything was just good. And, you know, I really enjoy those moments in life where everybody's just coming together like this. And we're not talking about politics. We're not talking about nothing that's going on in the world. We're just rocking to this music.
Enjoying.
In that moment, everybody's on the same
Yes.
pulse. Whether you could dance or not, it doesn't matter. We don't care because you're feeling it, and that's what all I care about. I don't care how well you dance when you're at my shows. Just move,
Come on, have some fun.
have some fun with it. So
Snap your fingers and stomp your feet.
yeah, that's what it's all about. And when you see that, that's when you just have to look up above and say thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
You know, for
great creator,
the great
yes.
creator, because that part right there, you know, I couldn't imagine not having this.
Yeah.
You know.
And how it touches our souls. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not just saying because we're the smoothies.
Right.
It's the fact of the matter, the whole thing about music itself was literally for exactly that. For leisure. I guess that would be the best word.
Uh-huh.
To actually take that, and that's why they even came up, the word lounge came from leisure.
Yeah.
To be able to sit back, relax, and enjoy good music, good food, and of course some good drink too.
Oh yeah, gotta have that. Gotta have a libation.
It's all about having a good time, and
Right.
then it's us being entertainers, and you know this, Tony.
Yeah.
That's what it is to be an entertainer. You can be a musician, but to be an entertainer, and I'm sitting here with one of Colorado's finest.
Well, I'm getting there. No, I appreciate it.
And that's that certain love too. That's
Yeah.
one thing that we have too, as musicians and entertainers. We will always give each other that kind of props, and that's why I'm so. Like I said, y'all gonna keep hearing me say this. How much I'm proud of this young man. Is that the fact of the matter is that he has supported what has been going on all this time, and the beauty of it is that it's kept us together as well to support one another continually. And it's coming up. We got something coming up big for y'all soon, real soon.
Oh yeah. Yes, indeed. We're coming to a conclusion here, but you know what? It's been a good time as always, right here live on the air, downtown Denver. It is 9:52, so coming up on the 10 o'clock hour. Once again, big shout out to the New York Knicks. Big shout out to everybody that's been listening, everybody that came on my Facebook live feed. I appreciate y'all so much. And big shout out to my man. I'm sitting here with the Denver legend himself, Vince Powell. And we're doing some filming in here. We're just having a good time, vibing, talking about music, talking about what's most important is, us. We were just having a discussion about how important music is and how it brings us all together. And I think all of you guys know that without music, things would be so different. So it's so cool to know that we have something like this to share. So you know what, the next time you go out and you hear some live music, you know, make sure you support, make sure you shake their hands, do all the things that you do. Let us know as artists what we mean to you. And those of us who come on the radio and play it for you as well, because I don't know if I could imagine life without music. Could you?
Oh, no. I mean, you know, the thing of it is that, especially like ourselves growing up, being entertainers from a very young age.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thing of it, having music all around, you know, where would we be without those simple comforts? And, you know, radio has always been there to support exactly that.
Yep.
And then me moving on, even doing the television and everything else, and connecting everything together.
Yeah.
You know, and then like what we're telling everyone about our acquaintance, you know, and that's why I wanted to give this little shout out before you got off the air. Tell us exactly about our lifetime good friend, of course, who's no longer with us. God bless him.
God bless him.
And
The late, great Andrew Woolfolk.
Yes, my big brother, our big brother.
Yes.
Yes.
He's the reason why, Vince is the reason why I met the legend. I'll never forget it. I was doing a recording session at this for a good friend of ours, Eric Epps, and Vince came to the studio and said, take yourself back to Club Spice. Andrew was there. He's waiting for you. I was like, what? I finally get to meet him? But I was not about to play my saxophone. I left it in the car. Andrew made me go get my horn.
You made him get you on.
I came into let me tell you, I walked into to Club Spice while they were playing with like 3 of the new reissued Earth, Wind & Fire CDs, because I was like, okay, he can sign them for me. He did. We had a good conversation. He's like, but where's the saxophone?
Yeah.
I've been hearing about you. And so I went and got it reluctantly, but you know what? We jammed together. We played probably Mr. Magic, Chicago Song, and something else, and it was with the old school, you know, Jakarta at the time, which I think was Mario on drums.
Mario, yeah.
Sheldon was playing keys.
Yeah.
I can't remember who was on bass. Dewey Adams was on guitar.
Yeah.
And Donnie and Winston were there.
Right.
So that was way back in the day. This is like year 2000, y'all, Club Spice.
And it was Isaac Points.
Isaac Points, right.
Bass.
Isaac Points was on bass, yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a great time, and I really appreciate that. Drew and I became good friends, and then I was honored through my man Daryl Woolfolk. Big shout out to Daryl for Foots, the craziest drummer out there. Daryl played with me last night in Colorado Springs, and he killed it.
That little bruh.
That's right, that's little bro right there. So I got a chance to play at Andrew's homegoing at my church at the time, Heritage Christian Center. That was an honor. Not only was it an honor to do that, but it was an honor because I got a chance to speak to Ralph Johnson, Earth, Wind & Fire, and Verdine. Yeah. And they were both very, very supportive, and they were like, you were doing your thing. I'll never forget when Ralph Johnson looked at me, he pointed at me, he's like, yeah. And Verdine was like, man, what are you doing? Well, who are you touring with? I said, well, I've been kind of doing my own thing. He smiled. He said, okay. He said, good. And he just gave me the best advice. And I was like on cloud 9 after that. When those 2 guys from that group tell you you're going to be all right, you're going to be all right, you know? And I didn't get a chance to talk much with Philip, but he gave me the thumbs up, gave me the stamp of approval. So after that, you know, I was kind of on one for a little bit. I was like, you know, y'all can't tell me nothing, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's been a good time. I'm your friend, Tony Exum Jr. It's been The Groove right here on KUVO, Jazz 89.3, the Oasis in the city. We're going to leave you with one of our legends who's killing it right now at Dazzle, the great Nelson Rangel.
The Oasis.
That's right. This is called Tidal Wave. I'll be back next Saturday, but keep listening. And remember, I say this on radio all the time. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about that. I'm your friend, Tony Exum Jr., and you're listening to The Groove every 8 to 10 every Saturday right here on the Oasis in the City.
KUVO. Now check this out. We just talked about that. We was on the air, but I want to make sure that Let's Talk Denver understands the fact of the matter is that our acquaintance literally was written in the stars, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know, and the thing of it is that when Tony asked me to introduce him to Andrew, it was over. I had to, because the simple fact of the matter, I'd already been telling Andrew about you.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it was a beautiful thing, and it still is. You know that thing? Club Spice is the right spice for nightlife.
Man, some good times.
That
man.
was some great times. I loved coming to work. I loved all those support mechanisms that were in place, and it's built us both up to this point, Tony.
Yep. Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And before we cut off here and wrap on this, Tony and I are working on a big project.
That's right. Be ready.
It's going to be down here in Rhino.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm going to give as far as a plug on this, and you can look it up, and that way you'll be able to follow us as well. And of course, you know, hit us up, both of us.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just going to give the name right now, because it's going to be a plug. It's called Beerstat Brewery.
That's right.
Remember that. Okay? Because we got some cool, hot, smoking stuff getting ready to light your behind on fire.
Yep.
Right here in Denver, Colorado.
Yes, indeed.
So, Tony?
Look, it's good stuff. Thank you, bro.
Yes, my pleasure.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
The great Tony Exum. I love
Yes,
this
indeed.
brother. This is my baby brother over
That's
here.
my big bro right here. All day, every day. Don't tell me nothing about my man. He tell me nothing about Vince.
That's my baby bro over here. You hear me? So thank you so much, Denver. Let's talk Denver. It's 2026. And guess what? It's the 13th. Who says 13 ain't a good number? Thank you, Denver. This is Let's Talk Denver. Tune in next time.
Worldwide.
And hit us up. Let us know. KUVO, DCM, YouTube.
That's right.
Look up. You'll see. I'll have that at the end of the show. Exactly how to make contact with us.
Exactly.
Tony, tell everybody good night.
Good night, y'all.
See
Thank
y'all
you.
later. Thank you.
See you.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.